So I bet, just bet, you have never really thought about Hunt's most underrated weapons. I mean, honestly, come closer. Have you really thought about it? Welcome to the Thunderdome. I am your Master of War, Grinning Zero. Now, there are lots of weapons to choose from in Hunt Showdown, from something as simple as the combat axe, to shotguns like the Spectre, or even the infamous Mosin Avtomat. That being said, there are 3 weapons I consider underrated at the moment, which I am going to share with you, and all their gloriousness. Gloriousness, is that the right word? Whether you agree or disagree with what weapons I consider underrated, I'd like to hear from you. What weapons of Hunt Showdown do you think are underrated? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, let's get to it. Just to be clear, keep in mind that this list is entirely subjective and based off of my own experiences in game. Kicking this list off as 3rd most underrated weapon, we have the Martini Henry. While it is a single shot weapon, its low cost, fast reload, and high amount of damage make it great for anyone just starting out who doesn't already have the sparks unlocked. It is worth mentioning as well, the sparks and Martini are pretty much on par with each other. Give or take, mainly reload speed, and of course the sparks does slightly more damage, but not much more. Honestly, it's like a 6-point difference. Just aim for the head, you'll be fine either way. For me, I prefer the slightly faster reload speed of the Henry, but truthfully, it doesn't really matter in the end as much as I'd like it to. Now, the Martini Henry isn't great for close quarters combat, so if you do plan to use it, make sure to bring something extra special, such as a pistol with fanning, which, if I'm being honest here, would probably be a very, very good idea. I've had tons of great fights with the Martini Henry, and this weapon performs very well in those fights. Now, I consider it underrated because, truthfully, in comparison to the sparks, it doesn't really get the love that it deserves. But that being said, this next weapon performs even better. Taking the spot of 2nd most underrated weapon, we have the Vetterli Carabiner. Carbine? Is it carbine? It is a low budget large weapon that I do and don't see used often, whatever that means. This sounded a little bit better in my head, come to think of it. Its reload speed is faster than a Lebel, and it has better handling than a Mosin. And honestly, you could certainly choose worse weapons to run with early on. Also, this weapon deals marginally less damage than the Mosin and Lebel by about 6 and 2 points respectively. The main downside is its fire rate, so make sure you hit your shots and bring a decent sidearm. On top of that, when it comes to long range engagements, it's alright, but not the best due to its lower muzzle velocity. So what is the deal with the Vetterli being underrated? Why not just get a Mosin or Lebel? After all, these weapons function fairly similar. The reason? Because this weapon is phenomenal for anyone starting out with hardly anything unlocked, or anyone not wanting to spend 5 times more on a Mosin or 4 times more on a Lebel. It just feels like it strikes a certain balance I don't feel with the other weapons I just mentioned. Does anyone else feel this way at all? Regardless, we aren't done here yet. There's still one more weapon that I think is vastly underrated, and it's also one of my personal favorite weapons. The number 1 most underrated weapon in Hunt Showdown is the Officer Carbine. While not boasting the highest damage, the accuracy, effective range, and fire rate more than make up for this. It's also a budget-friendly weapon, so to me that adds even more value. The only downside other than damage is the muzzle velocity isn't that great for longer range engagements. But if you're hitting good shots, this shouldn't be too much of an issue. I can't say enough good things about it, and with the recently released Deadeye version, it's even better. You really just need to get out there and try it out for yourself if you haven't already. However, I am surprised to say I don't see it used very often. To me, it's an underrated weapon that is so much fun to use, and it doesn't get the love it deserves. So when you see skilled players such as the legendary Lucan wield this weapon of legends, trust me when I say you'll understand what I'm talking about with this weapon. So what more can I say? These are the top 3 weapons I consider most underrated in Hunt Showdown. And I hope that the information I've shared with you benefits you in some way. Whether you agree or disagree, don't forget to let me know what you thought about my list of weapons I've chosen for this topic in the comments down below. Till next time, good luck on the battlefield. Tagged him again.
Oh, I thought you got him. I thought that was a blood spatter.
He's dead.
Nice shot.